Welcome to Intune Training, the place to learn how to use Microsoft Intune, the Steve and Adam show.
Hey, Adam.
With no Adam?
Man.
Again?
Man, really? It's been no Adam?
This joke's getting a bit old. Luckily, this is the last of 3 videos that we've been doing while Paul... It is a story arc. This is the penultimate video. Not penultimate, it's the final. I don't know. I'm going delirious. So we've
end game.
The end. Oh God, yes. Disney, don't come at us. All right. So we've done a whole bunch of stuff over these last 3 videos. So that we started off, we packaged the company portal so that we can deploy it out. Super important for enrollment of devices.
Yes.
For authentication and multi-factor and all that sort of fun stuff. Second thing we did, we went in and we created 2 connectors, one for device enrollment and one for application management and deployment. As well as patching, which is something that I didn't expect that we'd see there, which is really cool. So today, or in the same block, we still haven't figured out whether we're going to drop all these at the same time. We are going to go through the final thing, which is we've got some devices. We're going to enroll them. We've got our infrastructure set up now so that we should have a clear pathway to enroll devices that are specifically either purchased from retail locations or existing devices in your fleet that you want to manage. It's clear to point that out. We were having a discussion before we hit record. And Steve, just clarify, because maybe I'll stuff it up. But like, as far as I'm concerned, this process is the same thing that you would do if you just had a stack of machines sitting there and you just wanted to get them into the management platform.
That's correct.
And this is different than going through an enterprise process where they pre-enroll the devices for you. Is that correct?
That's correct. And this scenario, the other thing that's important to mention is not all Macs are going to be supported in this process.
Mm-hmm.
And what we mean by that is it's only going to be Macs that have the correct security chips.
Kind of like a TPM chip, right?
Yes. It's the Mac equivalent of the TPM2 chip, I believe.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Again, don't come at me. That's my understanding from my limited investigations.
Yeah, sure.
It's the equivalent of that TPM2 chip that's making sure that it's secure and trusted. Yeah. So there's a minimum requirement right now for Monterey Beta 5 for the Mac OS. So this is the latest beta that's out today in 2021. And you need to have the latest beta version of the iOS device to be able to do and run the Apple Configurator application that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And look, the Apple Configurator application has a storied history inside the device management world, because if we go back 8, 9, 10 years ago, we had the ability to run it on a PC. Apple Configurator 2 came out and it needed to be on a Mac.
Yep.
What Apple has just released is the ability to run that on iOS devices. Albeit it is the beta version. I'm going to keep stressing this is preview, subject to change.
Yeah. But
we're just going to get it out there because it is something that we feel is super important for everybody to be using today.
Definitely. But yeah, buyer beware or watcher beware. All of this stuff isn't better. It could change. If it does, we will provide follow-up videos to sort of advise of those changes. But this intrinsically is going to be the process for existing hardware enrollment. And down the line, hopefully sooner rather than later, this will be GA and it will be the standard process. That's
correct. So we need to step into the process, don't we, Ben?
We do, yes. So let's before we jump in at a high level, like what's our process? What's the end goal here? We've got a Mac Mini, is that correct?
So we've got a Mac Mini sitting here on my desk.
Yep.
I have my iPhone here. So we have the Apple Configurator application installed on there. The thing that I'm going to call out is I'm not stepping through the process to install Apple Configurator on the phone.
Yeah.
It was side-loaded from my MacBook Air.
Okay.
Using the Apple Configurator 2 application.
Is there documentation on that process?
So it's all in the release notes from the Apple AppleSeed process. So we'll put a link in there for the AppleSeed program. You need to register and access the information yourself so you have the latest information. But that AppleSeed program is designed for you as an IT admin to be able to go and test out these technologies as they come out and as they work.
Sure. Okay.
So it's super important to go and look at that. So it's the equivalent of the Insider program.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so we're gonna use the iPhone with that fancy software.
Yes.
To enroll the Mac Mini.
Mm-hmm.
With all the connections and the company portal and stuff that we've done in the first 2 videos.
That's correct.
So with that, share whatever magical screen you've got, and let's hope your hardware works.
Exactly. So and I'm going to put that out there as we are at the whim of the hardware today. So I have my iPhone here. It's all connected with HDMI and all of that cool stuff. So you can see it on the screen, and it's about making everybody's life easier. So it's a simple iPhone. It's the latest beta. So it's beta 5 for the, I can't remember a release number, but yeah, beta 5. Cool. When we go into the Apple Configurator, it now pops up with a camera using it straight away, and I've already accepted the risks and allow and all of that.
Yeah.
The other thing to note is I've signed in with the Intune.Training account here. And obviously it didn't pop up on the screen, but that Intune.Training account, it's gone through and signed in to my Apple Business Manager. When I've done that, it's gone and created the Apple Configurator 2 configuration in Apple Business Manager, so it registers it across. Nice. The other thing to note is when we register the device through here, it automatically puts it into the Apple Configurator profile and uses that for the MDM. So what we'll need to do is once we've added the device, we then need to go into Business Manager and change it before we turn it back on.
Okay. All right. So let's do that then.
Here's our status. So it's a pretty simple app, as you can see. What I'm going to do is do my little fancy switch here, and I'm going to switch so we have the iPhone down the bottom left. I'm just going to go back to the start screen, and we'll close out of the Apple Configurator, and I'm going to turn on the Mac Mini.
Cool.
The reason why we didn't have that turned on previously is because that whole process is pretty automatic to pop up the screen to register the device. So it's just going to take a second to boot up. Once it boots up, we'll be able to go in there and connect it in. So while it's sitting on this select your country and region, take your phone, open up Apple Configurator, and put it near the computer. As you can see, it now pops up that orb that's blue.
Ooh.
We go and grab that. And what should happen, if I can get it right.
Is this like building a fancy QR code?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of cool if you can get it right.
Come on.
What is pair manually?
Well, I think we're going to need to do that. So we're just going to hit pair manually.
Yeah.
And on the Mac, I'm just going to hit pair manually, and it's 928
141.
141. So what should happen if you've ever used an Apple Watch or anything like that? That will go through an auto pickup. What it'll be is because of how I'm running all my systems today.
Yeah.
It's not quite working as expected.
Also, I don't want to crash anyone's parade, but QR codes are pretty reliable and don't look like fancy orbs, but they almost always work.
Yes, but we're not going to go down that path because it's more than likely going to be an issue with how my system's set up.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. All right, so that policy has been assigned. Is this the sort of the same thing as capturing the hardware hash, or?
Yes.
Okay.
So we've captured the hardware hash. We've added it into the Apple Business Manager. So what I'm going to quickly do is on the Mac Mini, just to wrap up what we're doing on this computer, is I'm going to shut that down for the second.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm going to shut that down is because I want it to come back up and request a new profile.
Cool.
So I'm going to just move my screens around here a little bit. And that was the wrong screen. So I'm just going to stop that sharing. And I'm going to share another screen. So this is the Intune Training portal. From here, we're going to go across back to the Apple Business Manager. We're going to sign back in. It's going to think for a second. I'm just going to move Ben to another screen. So you'll see now we're in the Apple Business Manager. We're going to go to Devices. And you'll note that it's no longer not secure. We've fixed the issues that we were facing previously.
Thanks, security.
Yeah. So you'll see here we have our Mac Mini, which we've just imported. Obviously, you won't be able to see the serial number once we go through the whole process. You can see that we added on the 14th of August 2021. The order number is actually the date timestamp of right now.
Gotcha.
If you had purchased it, you'd have that correct information.
Yeah, sure. What's interesting here for me, anyway, as well, just because we talked about this at the end of the last video, is that release device button. So this is how you would essentially unenroll the device.
That's correct.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So right now you can see our source is Apple Configurator, and that's where it's sitting out here with the Apple Configurator 2 as its MDM. So we're going to edit device management. And we're going to choose our MDM being the Intune.Training tenant heart. And we're going to continue. Yep. And that will go through the process and it will sync it across into the Intune portal.
That's awesome.
In the real world, all of this you'd take some time and then box the computer back up and hand it out to the end user or whatever.
Yep.
But right now, this is the process that we're following today. We're back in the MeMac portal and we're going to go to devices. And we're going to go to Enroll Devices, Apple Enrollment.
Yep.
We select the right one and select Enrollment Program Tokens.
Mm-hmm.
And select our tenant.
And then we can go into
We'll
devices.
go to devices. Right now,
that's
you'll see
that's maybe not the best location for that. I feel like
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But the reason why it's broken down like that is you can add multiple tenants here.
Sure. Yeah. That makes sense.
So it needs to be able to handle, I want to sync the devices for that tenant. And I'll bring it through.
Yep.
Once this sync goes through, and look, this sync goes automatically.
Yeah.
But we're forcing this to go through because we're impatient.
Yep. It's like a 15-minute thing, right? So yeah, you can see it's like that's quite interesting that the UI's changed a little bit on this. So it's obviously advising. This is one of those things where people used to get impatient, just like smash the sync button, and you would get those weird errors that everyone thought was a problem. It's literally just the backend saying you can't just keep hitting sync.
Correct.
And this will literally tell you that you've got 15 minutes to try again. That was really fast, though.
Yeah. So it's still syncing because we have a small number of devices. It's going to sync straight through.
Yeah. Cool.
And you'll see that we now have our device in. And if we go across to profiles, we select that profile,
automatically assigned,
and we can see that assigned device. We should see that assigned device in here. But what we're going to do just to force it to make sure it comes through. It still hasn't synced through.
Yeah, this part might take a little while.
Yep. Just bear with us. And we're going to devices. We're just going to refresh.
Yeah.
Tick that.
Assigned
profile. Intune Hearts Mac OS. And assigned. Refresh it, and that should have everything we need on there. There we go.
Okay. It says it did that. There. Just refresh. Yeah, refresh that again.
Refresh.
Profile assigned. You can see the date stamped there.
Yep, perfect. Awesome. So now we're going to go back and turn on our Mac Mini, and I'll share the screen across. So I'm just going to stop sharing this screen. I'm going to turn the Mac on, and I'm going to go back and share that screen.
Moment of truth, Steve. Is it going to work?
I'm just going to hide that iPhone. It should work, but it is beta software, so we'll see.
That's the level of confidence I've come to expect from Intune Training.
Yes.
It should work.
So you'll see that went and actually changed automatically to Australia.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that was automatic.
Yeah, I didn't do anything there. We're going to continue. Yep. And not now. We're going to connect to our Wi-Fi because it's hidden.
Of course it is.
And you'll see that we now have the Intune Training automatic configuration on the device.
Yep.
We're going to select continue. And we are now being forced to sign into Intune Training. If I can remember the domain.
Hello, yup.
Hi. So this will go through that authentication process. It will make sure that we're all happy days, and it will allow us to sign in. Cool. And now you can see that it's installing that enrollment profile. So it's setting up the device. We're going to give it a name, and we're going to call it Stephen. The thing to note, and I think this is awesome, is the account name field is auto-populated.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we still have a password here, which I don't like, but that's just how Apple works today.
Yeah, I mean, the user profile can't be AAD backed. It can?
Yeah, so if you look at a solution from Jamf, we have the ability to handle that, but it's extra dollars and minimum devices and.
Sure. Oh, I remember the minimum devices.
Yeah. So this is part of what we're talking through today, is using the native tool sets, and I'll go through that. Because we have location services turned off.
Oh, interesting. So it automatically knows that we're from Australia because of our profile, but it won't be able to use the location services to find out where we are.
That's correct.
Okay.
And because we hid the location services, it turned it off. So now we've gone in and said, actually, we want that turned on, and go and set it.
Gotcha. Alternatively, you could obviously just manually set that. But that's yeah, cool.
But I'm lazy.
Yeah, love being lazy.
And there you go. And because this is preview software, it has the feedback assistant and a couple of other components.
Sure.
But there's our Mac through the out-of-box experience that was previously not registered into our Apple Business Manager.
Can we confirm on the device that it is managed?
So if we go down here to System Preferences and we have Profiles, you'll see here we have a management profile. And that management profile, if we scroll, it will say Microsoft Intune Root Certificate Authority. And if we keep scroll all the way down, what you don't see, and this is the important thing, is the Remove button.
Yeah, because we specifically turned that off.
That's correct.
That's cool.
And we also have a firewall, which I believe is, so it's Microsoft has also put that in there.
Sweet.
And if we go to the Launchpad, what we should see in here, I believe, but it might not have appeared yet, is the company portal application will eventually appear.
Yeah, so that was the next thing I was going to check. Like, what's the time frame for that to deploy?
I believe it should be pretty quick, but I haven't dug into it to be completely transparent.
Yeah, that's fine. We're also in the world of demos, so who knows?
Yes. All hail Demo God.
Exactly.
So I think we've actually done pretty well there, Ben. We've managed to get it to go through without any major hiccups.
Yeah, it's very good.
I'm just going to stop sharing my screen and we can wrap up, I think.
Awesome. So, look, Steve, that was fantastic. We've basically gone from 0 to 100% of having no ability to enroll existing Mac devices to having full management and an ability to limit people from sort of aggressively or dangerously removing those management policies, which is super important because especially back in the day, I know the first thing most people would do on their mobile devices would be go in and remove the profile. So they thought they were being sassy. So the fact that we've got that ability to do that, I think, is really important. We broke this up into 3 videos so that it was easy to sort of digest the content. But I think realistically, if we go back and look at this, we've probably got maximum of about 45 minutes to an hour of going from nothing to 100%. And if you're doing this and not talking to your best friend on the internet, you'd probably get it done even quicker. So
exactly.
Look, I think this is a really great experience. Obviously, everything that we just looked at is in beta, so probably not ready for prime time, but it's getting there. It's getting really, really close.
Exactly. And that's it, right? This is where we're anticipating in 6 months' time, 3 months' time, whenever it releases, you'll be able to leverage these processes, and they shouldn't change all that dramatically.
Yeah.
And if they have, we may revisit, because we think there's a lot of value in that scenario.
Definitely. So everyone else that's been watching this, you're obviously watching because this is something that you will need to do in your job, or you're just curious. So get started, have a play around. Come back to this video. Let us know if you have any problems. Let us know if you enjoy the experience. When things change, because they probably will, we'll create more videos. We'll create more content that shows sort of the updated UIs, all that sort of fun stuff. But yeah, enjoy. We finally now have a really nice way to enroll devices that we previously didn't. So I think that's great.
Oh, I think it's fantastic.
Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Steve. Everyone else, see you next time.
Thanks for joining us. See you next time.